What's going on, everybody? I'm back with another video. This video is going to be looking at how Liverpool beat Newcastle in the English Premier League in their last match. Now, before we get into the tactics behind the match, check out both my books. They're online on Amazon, and there's links in the description below. Also, be sure to check out Keyframe. It's how I made this video. There's a link to that also in the description. Let's get right into the tactics behind the match. So, Liverpool played with a back four. But in their build-up phase, their first two lines of build-up were made through asymmetric movement and a single pivot of Jordan Henderson. And now how we typically see Liverpool lining up is with Trent Alexander-Arnold dropping deep in the right half space, but here we have Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain dropping, allowing Trent Alexander-Arnold to go higher up the field in the half space, which is a very common position we start to find him in because it puts him into a better position across the ball and use his excellent range of passing in and around dangerous areas. Then on the weak side, we have Thiago dropping deeper in the left half space. So when we have Thiago on the left and then Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right, we have two very good players with great range of passing to feed the front and attacking players. But then between the lines we have Sadio Mane and Diogo Jota just playing off the back four, allowing them to affect more defenders. This allows Mo Salah to then become isolated in the wide area and allow him to use his qualitative superiority, mirrored by Andy Robertson on the left hand side, using his attributes to then progress higher up the field. Newcastle started the game in a 5-4-1, which quickly changed to a 4-5-1, increasing the players they have in midfield, allowing them to use more cover shadows to block entry passes into the players between the line and create more pressure into the second line of Liverpool's build-up, with St. Maximin as the lone center striker looking to break in offensive transitions. Now early on we see the 5-4-1 or 5-2-3 if they were higher up the field, but a 5-4-1 in their low block for Newcastle, starting early in the game with our right wing back just off our screen to the right hand side. And now we can start to see the Liverpool build-up shape with Thiago on the left and Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right. Then higher up the field, Jordan Henderson has more freedom as a single pivot to move further forward because of the very compact nature of the Newcastle block, and by having a deeper build-up, they look to try and attract pressure to then exploit space in more dangerous areas. Salah playing in a wider area, allowing Oxlade-Chamberlain, Jota, and Mane to control the space between the lines, and Jordan Henderson as the most central holding midfielder. Still another very clear picture with a few different rotations from Liverpool in Newcastle's 5-4-1. So the change of Newcastle's shape to their 4-5-1 didn't happen until around the second half, and that was the first picture we looked at later in the game. But now we start to see the fluidity from Liverpool's side, especially deriving from the deep position of the half spaces, starting the movement to then create very strong and effective wide structures. So Andy Robertson now remains deep, Thiago fans out wide, and Mane comes into a more narrow position, so holding the width while still creating access into more advanced positions. Then from here, we have on the weak side Salah maintaining his width and Trent Alexander-Arnold at the base of Oxlade-Chamberlain and Salah. So these wide structures are very dominant in the way Liverpool play, and they are also very well connected from a driving central defender, holding midfielder, and a forward who's not afraid to overload the space between the lines through the half space or drop deeper in a more central position. Now for our last picture, when Liverpool started to build from the back in the second half, they had to do so against the 4-3-3 of Newcastle, which saw different conditions that Liverpool had to progress by. So going with a 4-3-3, it created more space in the wide area, but Liverpool looked to use this through a staggering of their central midfielders, and oftentimes later in the game they did go direct to try and progress further up the field and exploit the less players they had back while there was more space to then attack into, which resulted in a more direct approach in their first third build-up. But that's where we're going to wrap up the analysis of Liverpool for today, and I'll see you in the next one.